What's up, y'all? This is Dominic with PoorPumperSociety. I'm back at a property today that I pumped out about 3 years ago. Now, this is just for routine maintenance, but the first time I came to the property to pump out the septic tank, it was really thick. Thankfully, it had risers, and it only took maybe 2 hoses, so not that big of a deal. But the main thing I want you to look at in this type of system is how thick that crust is and why does it get that thick. I'll tell you what helps build up that really thick crust that you don't want in your septic tank. You do not want a really thick crust. Wipes and really thick toilet paper, and a lot of people using the restroom. Now, this specific property has a couple RVs and a home attached to one septic tank. Now, in an ordinary home that's 3-bed, 2-bath, you're going to have a 1,000-gallon septic tank, and it should be able to go between 2 to 5 years in between pump outs if you're doing the right thing, you're not flushing anything that's not supposed to be flushed down. Now, when you have way more people than could fit in a normal 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, you're going to have to get the septic tank pumped out a lot more often. Now, based off what I saw, in order to prevent this customer from backing up, I would say pump it out probably a year sooner. Now, this specific home, I believe, is like an Airbnb type of thing, so you can put up signs all you want, don't flush this, don't flush that. Now, at the end of the day, there's not surveillance cameras invented yet that can be installed in the pipe leading to the septic tank to determine who flushed what. So in instances like this, it's good to have a relationship with someone that pumps out septic tanks or a plumber, and just keep up with maintenance, because the last thing you want is you're hosting someone and the toilets start backing up, septic tanks overflowing. It could be a nightmare. We've showed up to situations like that. So preventative maintenance is the key here. And in other news, I hope everyone had a great Pokemon Go Fest weekend. And if this is your first time watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you have any problems or any questions about septic systems, or even your septic system you have at your house, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. I'll see what we can do to make a video to help you out. And if you want to try out any of the tools I use in my videos, you can check the description down below. Those are affiliate links, so they help me and they help the channel. And without further ado, let's get to pumping. Oh yeah, it's pretty thick. So we've got a conventional septic system right here. We've got risers on both lids, which is always nice to see. And very thick. Let's use the hook right here and see just how thick. Thick enough for it to stick. That's got to be at least 6 inches on the surface scum layer, and you can see what can be adding to that. Some wipes. So I pumped out this specific system about 2 years ago during the shutdown, and it was pretty thick at that time as well. One of the main factors is I think we got a lot of people living here, which of course is going to shorten how long this tank can go before it needs pumping again. But thankfully we got risers, and makes it really easy to service every time we need to come out here. It's got the secondary safety lid under here, and there's our outlet. I'll switch this around, see how thick. You can see there's not much, but you want to keep this side mostly water. And if I see the outlet, it must be tucked up under here somewhere where I can't reach it. But we've got everything exposed, so I'm just gonna go out to the truck, get my hoses, and then get to pumping this thing out. wipes off in the bucket. That is gonna go in the trash when we go to the dump. And the blades on the CrustBuster are free to spin again. So I'm gonna finish getting the rest of this right here. And then move over to the outlet side. Batch of wipes. Into the bucket we go. I usually have my poop knife with me, which is just a box cutter from Harbor Freight, to cut these wipes off and throw them in the trash, but I seem to have misplaced it, so I got to use these tiny little needle nose pliers. That way I don't have to raw dog it with my gloves. Usually once you get like a couple of these big wads off, the rest will fall in when you shake it a bit. But usually this is everyone's biggest gripe with the CrustBuster, is that the wipes will stick to it like this, but in my opinion it kind of makes it easier, because when there's a bunch of wipes like this, usually we throw a rake in there and pull out as many as we can, because we don't want these in the truck as much as possible. So we're trying to manually remove these, but if you throw the CrustBuster in there, it really does a good job of getting a lot of wipes around it, so then you can just pull it up, pull them off into a trash bag or bucket. That way you don't have to worry about vacuuming them up into your truck. So we're getting to the bottom of the tank. I'm not able to use the water on site because they've got it hooked up to some RVs, and I don't want to mess with any of that. So really want to make sure that I get the bottom nice and clean. That way I can send the customer a picture showing them proof that we got to the bottom, and also making sure I do a good enough job getting all these solids out of the tank. Now, people always ask me whether I use the homeowner's water or if I have water on the truck. So on this truck, I do not have a fresh water tank, so I do use the customer's water, and if it's not available, I really make sure I do an extra thorough job. You can see right there, we're at the bottom of the tank. It's not going to get much cleaner than that. That's one of the pros about using the CrustBuster, is it really helps you mix up these tanks. They're pretty thick without having to add extra water. Because what that extra water does is gets filled up into your vacuum truck and have less gallons of septic that'll fit now. So this tank is 1,000 gallons, so that's right about on the dot of what's entering my truck. So I've got my company phone. What I'll do is I'll get a nice clear shot of the bottom on the inlet baffle and take a picture. And really nice thing about iPhone is you can show the location, the date. So the inlet side is done. We're on the outlet side now. You can see that's the baffle. So that's a concrete wall separating these two chambers. And this side has a lot less solid than the other side. And you can see we're at the bottom now. Concrete bottom. So I'm just gonna scrape the bottom with my hose and get whatever we can get and take a picture for the customer. So we're at the bottom of the tank now. Let's get a picture for our customer. take a couple. And time to put the screws down on everything so no one falls in. Put up the hoses and call it on this one. So I hope that gives y'all some insight of what flushing really thick toilet paper and flushable wipes can do to a septic system. Now, if they were using a bidet or if they were throwing away their paper and wipes, I know it sounds gross, but a lot of people do it. They probably could have gone the full 5 years and had minimal crust, but when you start adding stuff like that, you really shorten the lifespan of how long the septic tank can go between pump outs. Now, if this was a traditional residence where the homeowner was living here full time, I would tell them, look, if you want to go a little longer between pump outs, you can do this, but since this is a rental / Airbnb type of situation, you can't really force your hand of what they can flush down, and you can't keep track of it because there's multiple people coming in and out. So in situations like this, I would really recommend just having it pumped out more frequently, or having someone inspect the tank to see what the scum layer and the sludge level's at. That way you can have this conventional septic system last as long as possible. So if you've got a septic tank at your house, try and switch to bidet. I can't recommend that enough. If you have really thick toilet paper or you still want to use wipes, get a diaper genie or get a little trash can with a scented bag that has a lid on it. Don't let it build up and stink up the whole restroom. Take it out pretty often, but as you've seen at the wastewater treatment plant, they have a rake that does the same thing. The wipes end up in the same place, the trash. Just some friendly advice. But that does it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and empty the truck and head on to the next one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. You have any comments, questions about your septic system or anything in general, just drop it down below. And as always, thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it.